Ask the people who fix them about appliance brands. Do not ask a salesman at a big box electronics store. Ask the guy in the dirty work boots. Ask an independent appliance repair technician. These men and women spend 40 hours a week tearing apart shiny stainless steel boxes. They see the melted circuit boards, shattered plastic gears, and engineered failure points. These are the brands corporate marketing departments try to hide. If you ask any veteran repair technician what appliances they have in their own homes, you will notice a striking pattern. Their kitchens do not have Wi-Fi. Their refrigerators do not have tablets bolted to the doors. They run old, ugly, analog white boxes, because the people who fix these machines have a blacklist. They know exactly which brands and features are guaranteed to rob you blind. Today we are opening that blacklist. I'm going to walk you through the 5 worst engineering crimes, the specific brands you need to avoid, and the dumb machines you should buy instead. Number 1 on the blacklist, the Samsung Smart Refrigerator. Walk into any big box appliance store and the centerpiece is usually a massive $3,000 Samsung unit. It has a giant digital tablet on the door, internal cameras, and a sleek ice maker. To a repair technician, this machine is a rolling catastrophe. The primary engineering fraud is a fundamental violation of thermodynamics, the indoor ice maker. In order to make ice, the temperature needs to be below 32 degrees Fahrenheit, but the refrigerator compartment where you store milk is typically 38 degrees. To get around this, Samsung engineers mounted the ice maker inside a thin plastic box and tried to pump freezing air into it through a narrow duct. It is a thermodynamic nightmare. The plastic box lacks proper insulation. Every time you open the refrigerator door, warm, humid air hits that below freezing ice maker. It creates condensation that drips down, freezes solid, and eventually turns the entire internal mechanism into an immovable block of ice. The plastic gears try to rotate the frozen mass, and they literally shatter. This flaw is so widespread there are massive class lawsuits documenting it. Repair technicians will tell you directly, never buy a refrigerator with an ice maker located inside. If you want ice, buy a cheap refrigerator where the ice maker sits in the freezer. Number 2, the LG front-load washing machine. Front-load washers are marketed as high-efficiency, premium machines. LG dominates this retail space, but hiding behind the stainless steel drum is a terrifying example of planned obsolescence, the spider arm bracket. In a front-load washer, the entire weight of the wet clothes is supported by a bracket attached to the back of the spinning drum. In a commercial machine, this bracket is made of solid forged steel or heavy cast iron, built to survive decades of abuse. Forged steel and cast iron last where consumer parts fail, but in modern LG and Samsung washers, this critical component is made from cheap cast aluminum. This pot metal construction is the weak link. That pot metal bracket sits in a pool of soapy water, constantly exposed to highly concentrated synthetic liquid laundry detergents. A chemical reaction called galvanic corrosion begins immediately. Over the course of 3 to 5 years, the acidic detergent literally eats the aluminum alive. The metal becomes spongy and flakes apart like wet chalk. Galvanic corrosion eats the bracket from the inside out. One day you throw a heavy load of towels into the drum. The machine goes into the high-speed spin cycle, and that corroded spider arm violently snaps in half. The drum drops, smashes through the outer tub, and destroys the machine from the inside out. The repair will be a $600 drum assembly replacement, more than half the cost of the original washer. Repair technicians know this. That is why they buy vintage Whirlpool top loaders or commercial Speed Queen machines that use heavy-duty steel transmissions. Number 3, the GE Smart Range. The kitchen stove used to be the simplest, most indestructible appliance. It was just a heavy metal box with a gas valve or a thick copper heating coil. A machine built to last 30 years without a single service call. Today, brands like GE are bolting delicate computers onto them. The engineering crime here is the placement of the control board. Look at a modern high electric or gas range. To make it look sleek, designers placed a massive digital touchscreen or LED control panel on the front or back of the unit, but ovens generate extreme radiant heat. They reach 500 degrees inside the cooking cavity, and all of that heat has to vent somewhere. Where does it go? Right out at the top of the machine, directly underneath or behind that delicate digital motherboard. They are intentionally placing a fragile, heat-sensitive silicon circuit board directly in the blast radius of a 500-degree oven. Over time, the constant cycling of intense heat dries out the electrolytic capacitors, and melts the cheap solder joints. When the range inevitably throws a cryptic digital error code, a technician cannot just swap a cheap mechanical switch like they could 20 years ago. They have to order a proprietary $300 logic board, and if it is back ordered, you are eating takeout for 6 weeks. Number 4. The Premium Whisper Quiet Dishwasher. If you bought a Whirlpool or Maytag dishwasher 20 years ago, it sounded like a jet engine, but it lasted forever. The reason is simple. Older dishwashers had a built-in macerator, a miniature garbage disposal at the bottom. It violently chopped up food particles and blasted them down the drain line. Today, consumers demand whisper-quiet appliances. To achieve that silence, corporate holding companies removed the metal hard food choppers entirely. Instead, they installed a fragile, ultra-thin plastic impeller wheel driven by a tiny wash motor. They rely on a delicate mesh filter screen to catch food debris before it reaches the pump. But if a single pistachio shell or popcorn kernel slips past that filter, it hits the spinning plastic impeller at full speed. Because the plastic is paper thin and the motor lacks torque, that single piece of debris shears the plastic teeth right off. Your dishwasher immediately stops draining, fills with stagnant gray water, and you are handed a repair bill for a wash motor assembly that costs more than a budget dishwasher. Number 5. The all-ventless washer combo. This is the newest and most expensive trap to hit the appliance market. Brands are pushing massive $2,500 machines that promise to wash and dry your clothes in the same drum, using a heat pump compressor and no external dryer vent. They market it as the ultimate luxury convenience for apartments and modern homes. To a repair technician, it is a thermodynamic death trap. When you dry clothes, the fabric releases massive amounts of wet, heavy lint. In a normal dryer, that lint is blown outside your house through a vent pipe. Problem solved. In an all-in-one ventless machine, the lint is supposed to be caught by an internal filter, and the moisture is condensed on a set of its internal metal coils hidden deep inside. But filters are never perfect. Microscopic damp lint bypasses the screen and sticks directly to those wet, sticky condenser coils buried inside the machine. Over a year of regular use, that wet lint turns into a thick, calcium-like paste that completely suffocates the heat exchange surface. The machine stops drying your clothes. It runs for 4 hours straight, cooking your electric bill, and your clothes come out damp and smelling like mildew. And the worst part is this: the consumer cannot access those coils to clean them. A technician has to completely disassemble the entire machine just to scrape the wet lint off the internal radiator. It is the ultimate planned obsolescence subscription model disguised as a luxury upgrade. And here's the truly frustrating part. Consumers are unable to reach those coils for cleaning purposes. A service technician must fully dismantle the entire appliance simply to remove the damp lint from the internal radiator. This is the epitome of planned obsolescence, packaged as a premium upgrade option. The technicians understand the real situation. The entire modern appliance industry functions by adding intricate, unreliable complexity to essentially straightforward mechanical jobs. To bypass the restrictions, you need to carry out the simple appliance counterattack. Avoid purchasing appliances with Wi-Fi capabilities. Do not buy refrigerators that have ice dispensers in the door. Refrain from purchasing stoves with digital touch interfaces. Seek out the most affordable, least attractive basic white appliance on display that features robust, old-fashioned mechanical dials. You exchange digital ease for enduring mechanical function, and you prevent your money from reaching the corporate giants who designed these devices to break as soon as the warranty runs out. If you've watched this far, please subscribe. I discuss the engineering deceptions hidden within the items you purchase on a weekly basis.